Hi everybody, welcome back to The Silver Lining. I am your host, Juliet Vi, Miss South Florida for 2020, and today I am so excited. I have a beautiful guest. She is kind, she is sweet, and she has a cat that might be joining us. Please welcome Miss Massachusetts 2019, Lindsay Littlefield. Hi,
Thank you
Lindsay.
for that awesome introduction. That was, wow, that was a lot to live up to.
Well, we don't know if the cat will appear, but there's a good chance. Lindsay already warned me, so it may or may not be happening. Lindsay, thank you so much for joining me today. I know you have such a busy schedule, but you made time for me, and I really, really appreciate it.
And as the same to you, thank you so much for doing this series. It's awesome to have an opportunity and a platform for us state title holders to get out there and really, despite being in a pandemic, get to share our message. So thank you.
Absolutely. You all have had a very unique year. I mean, you're some of the first state title holders ever to have a 2-year reign. So it must be a very interesting experience for you all. So I'm glad I'm capturing it to some degree.
Yes, no, thank you for doing it. I appreciate it.
So my first question for you is when and how you first got involved with the Miss America organization, and what do you believe you learned along the way that led you to your big Miss Massachusetts win?
So beginning in the organization, I actually started in our outstanding teen program in the state of Massachusetts. So I grew up loving Miss Tauntons and seeing them and really admiring who they were. I grew up in Taunton, so as a hometown girl, Miss Taunton was like our mayor here. And I absolutely loved Miss Taunton, Ashley Shabs, and Molly Whalen. And I grew up really admiring these two ladies, and that's what really motivated me to get into the teen program and try it for myself. And once I did, I realized that I really liked the teen program, but I really wanted to be Miss Taunton. And so that was my hope and that was my dream. So I continued on and I waited until I was old enough to compete in the Miss program. Once I was, I feel like from there, it was this whole goal of being Miss Taunton. Miss Massachusetts was never really on my radar until I was Miss Taunton. As crazy as that sounds, I feel like sometimes I say that and people are like, wait, what? Being as a Tauntonian, we say, that is our Miss Massachusetts. Miss Taunton is such a prestigious title here in our hometown. You are a celebrity of the city for the whole year. The year is all about you. So it is very big to me to be Miss Taunton. And I grew up admiring them. So I competed for a couple of years and I won little other local titles along the way and really gained a lot of experience. But once I won Miss Taunton, I feel like that's where I really learned what it meant to be a title holder. And those little things that I learned about how to fluff your hair, how to, put on this and quick change for this costume were awesome little tidbits of information. But what really set the staging for me was winning Miss Taunton and having my mentor be my business manager. So it came circle around and that friendship really bonded and grew. And that's what I really think for me motivated me to become Miss Massachusetts, because then I wanted to do that for another local girl another year. So for me, it was all about the friendships, the bonding, the motivation that, mentorship can give you.
That is so awesome. I completely agree. I think through this system, I started out as an outstanding teen as well, and this will be my first year as a Miss. But, you meet so many girls that are mentors to you and inspiring to you. And I love how you said it was more important to me to win Miss Taunton than to win Miss Massachusetts. I am currently Miss South Florida Fair, which sounds like a small title, but back here in Florida, that's like a huge deal. So
it's so huge.
You're representing, your city or a corporation like the fair. It's a big deal, so I love that. It's so wholesome that you say that, but it really is an honor no matter whether you're local, state, or national. But I absolutely love hearing the impact that the organization had on you, and hearing that one of the girls you idolized is your business manager is really cool too.
It's really unique because once you get to the Miss America level, they talk a lot about how everything is really on sisterhood and how you set that stage for your class. Mm-hmm. And to hear that now from a business perspective and have that experience, before that was really the ideal mission that we were given. I mean, ideally, this organization started off of scholarship.
Yep.
To have this bonded in it is so unique and what sets it apart. And that's why I recommend the organization to as many people as I can. The scholarship's great. The things that you learn are awesome. But the friends that you make and the memories that you have with them are going to last you forever.
Absolutely. I've heard from a lot of girls, whether they do sororities or not, that the Miss America organization is like its own little sorority. It's really nice. Because now I have a friend in Massachusetts, and I don't know anyone from Massachusetts, but you all know me. So now you have a new best friend from Florida, aka me. We've been on the call for 8 minutes, and I just called Miss Massachusetts my best friend. Get on my level.
Well, we are BFFs now. You technically have Tom Brady now, so we kind of have to be BFFs.
Oh, when I found that out, this is a whole sidetrack, but when I found out that he was going to play for the Tampa Bay Bucks, I was like, my mind was blown. I'm sure your mind was blown. I was like, why is he moving here? Why is Giselle going to live 3 hours away from me? That's so weird. That was where my mind went. I was like, that is too cool. But
another side note, I used to go to school literally 10 minutes away from their house. So now you live closer to them than I did, but.
Oh my gosh, it's insane. I would be driving past their house every day. Well, you probably can't even get to their neighborhood, but Tom would be like, okay, there's this like really strange white car outside my house. Like, get her away.
I love what's going on.
Listen, I'm a Dolphins fan because I'm from Florida, and every other Dolphins fan I know hates Tom Brady, but I love Tom Brady. Not because he's great at football, but for other reasons. Anyway.
I know. Well, so a little fun fact while we're on the sidetrack. My Miss Massachusetts roommate, Emily Yo, is a Patriots cheerleader. So I always find out, like, not the inside scoop, I guess, but what it was like to be in the practice area and what it was like to be on the field. And I get to hear all those tidbits. And then to not live far away where Tom Brady was living for a year at school, I just felt like I was like Pat's Nation for a while. And then Tom Brady moved to Florida. So now I am sharing my Pat Nation love to you.
I am totally taking credit. Tom Brady now lives in my state, so I'm a celebrity, and I'm friends with Miss Massachusetts. This is a lot for me. It's a lot of celebrity responsibility to accept.
I love it.
So now my next question for you is, how many titles have you served locally under the Miss Massachusetts organization, and how do you think those years of service impacted you and your community?
So I held 5 titles in the organization. I competed in my senior year of high school. And as I mentioned before, the goal was to be Miss Taunton. So it was a big party the 5th year around when I finally won the title of Miss Taunton. But my hometown titles continuing from now were Miss Commonwealth, Miss Mayflower, Miss South Coast, Miss Lakeville, and then finally Miss Taunton. So I got to serve a lot around the area of the community where I live, which was really nice. And then to finish it off with the hometown title, it was like a big finale.
Yeah.
Each year you learn a little something though, and I'm sure that you can relate to that, especially from the teen program going into Miss for your first year. I felt like for me as a competitive athlete, I compete in the world of Ninja Warrior. I always had this mindset of what did I learn and what can I work on. So it wasn't, oh, I lost, Miss Taunton the first year, I did this wrong. It was, what did I learn? Well, the first year I learned that how to walk in heels, how to walk on stage, how to talk on stage. Totally different. Hi, Kitty. Oh, he's coming to say hello.
Oh my gosh.
Here he is.
Oh my gosh. Wait, no. I have to pin your video so they can see this. Oh my goodness. Oh, he is truly beautiful. You guys are kind of like twins. You both have like blonde hair and blue eyes. Both beautiful.
Thank you. Oh, the lights are bright for his eyes, but.
Well, that was just like literally another whole celebrity appearance. This is like a lot for me, but what's his name?
His name is Swiper the cat.
Oh my god, I love that.
Massachusetts.
Aww.
That's Massachusetts. He's like, now he's being all sassy for us, and he's like, I am too good for you guys. He's sitting there watching us.
He was really beautiful. He made me look terrible with that ring light in his blue eyes. I am ashamed.
Looks better than me most days, I'm not gonna lie. So he's like rocking a fine haircut right now. I am totally a crazy cat lady who shaves her cat. Totally admit it.
I'm a crazy dog lady. I mean, people are a little bit scared. I dress them up and it's a lot. We already have Halloween costumes and it's in the works.
I love it. We have not gotten his Halloween costume yet, but he's going to definitely be a donut because he doesn't know this yet. He's going to be a donut and I'm going to be a cup of coffee.
Name a more iconic duo. Oh, wait. You can't.
Iconic than us and the Kardashians. But moving forward. So competing in the organization, I always thought in my brain, it wasn't just what did I lose, what did I do wrong? It was always about what did I gain from this experience and what can I continue to learn and work on? As a Ninja Warrior, you don't get the salmon ladder in one day. You don't win the course on one win. So for me, it was all about working towards this goal of having a goal. And whether it was a goal of winning a local title, being Miss Taunton, being Miss Massachusetts, competing in a ninja race, it was always that main goal, and every little thing helped me build the ladder to get there. So as I competed throughout my years, I really focused on this mentality of learning how to adapt to every situation and how to be resilient. You know, 5 people who've never met you don't define your future. And that's a quality I think a lot of candidates need to understand.
100%. I mean, I think resilience is one of my favorite words. It's so important to have resilience when competing in pageants, because sometimes you won't win, you know, and sometimes you'll have to go back and face that. And it is hard. You're putting yourself out there. I think that our experience is really unique. You're being judged on so many fronts. You're being judged on, you know, academics, talent, interview skills, onstage question skills. I mean, half the people in the audience probably could not answer a question at that rapid speed. I mean, I don't want to say that, but I'm saying it. So it's true.
Skills are difficult.
It really is. So I think resilience is so important. And, you know, clearly your resilience has led you to where you are. I mean, thank goodness you kept trying and trying, because now Miss Massachusetts has a wonderful representative, and all that work must have seemed so worth it in the end.
Absolutely. And that's what Ninja Warrior is essentially all about. Like I said before, you don't get the salmon ladder in one day. You get 1 or 2 pull-ups, then you get explosive pull-ups, and it's all about these layers and steps. And I feel like pageantry is the same way. And although on a ninja course, when you fall, your run is over, and that's pretty black or white situation, pageantry is not. And I feel like that's where I added that complexity in my life where, again, 5 people in front of you who you've never met don't define your future.
I absolutely love that quote, and I think that's a great piece of advice that any girl, whether they're, you know, 5 times competing or newly competing, they have to remember that. So thank you for that. That's wonderful.
No, I always say it took me 5 times, so just keep trying.
I've met girls that have competed 6, 7 times, and I just spoke to Miss Idaho last week, who, you know, won on her first try. Well, she had a really cool crowning story, but essentially won on her first try. But every girl made it to Miss America either way, you know. It really just depends on the year. It depends on who's judging, and, you know, it doesn't really invalidate how long you try, you know. Like, I got the chance to compete at state twice for teen, and although I never won, those 2 years of competing in that, you know, highly competitive, you know, state competition, but building those friendships all at once was an incredible experience. So I wouldn't trade those times for the world.
Absolutely. And that's how I feel about every ninja competition, every Miss America competition, everything that you handle in life, I feel like should have that pageant, excuse me for saying that word, mentality.
Oh yes, I keep forgetting. It's competition. I always forget, like.
No, you said competition. Good.
I have to get used to that. So now I'm going to read your very impressive scholastic career. I did write it all down, so excuse me, but it really is impressive. So you are a recent graduate of Bridgewater State University, where you received a Bachelor's of Science in Biology with a concentration in dental pre-professional, along with a minor in chemistry and dance. I also read that you were planning to attend Tufts University to become a doctor of dental medicine, working as a general dentist. That is so amazing. So what made you choose this career path? And what do you hope to do with all you've learned in the future? And by the way, your teeth are very white. I can see why you want to be a dentist. That is a white smile.
So when I had braces and the whole 9 yards, but I loved going to my dentist when I was a kid, and I didn't realize it at the time. And I feel like that's like a weird thing for somebody to say, like, oh, you liked going to the dentist. Weird. But that's okay.
Totally, Lindsay.
But my dentist was really great in explaining things. And as a little 8 or 9-year-old who is a female who was interested in science, that's unheard of for somebody to, 1, give you the attention and the time to explain something, but 2, to actually explain it.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you're 8 or 9, you often get asked a question, why is this, why is that? And parents are like, oh, it's this, or adults are like, oh, it's that, and it's brushed off very quickly. My dentist didn't do that. My dentist sat in one day and literally like took apart an x-ray and was like, this is the sinus cavity, that's where your nose is, this is that molar, that has this many roots. And I was so fascinated with the scientific reasoning behind everything that he was explaining that I automatically fell in love with the field. And I was very motivated to learn more. And so I started getting orthodontic treatment. I absolutely loved the science behind that. I would again ask my orthodontist to explain everything to me. And the fact that they took the time to do that, and if you've ever been to an orthodontic office, they're constantly running around seeing 3 or 4 patients. You are in there for 5-10 minutes, you get your braces changed, and you go home. And for my orthodontist to sit down and explain something to me meant a lot. When I went to my high school, I did do a technical program, and I got to choose between 15 shops. And at that point in my life, I thought, dentistry is a lot of schooling. One of my parents had graduated from college, one did the technical trade program, so there wasn't really much of a college background in my family. And I was really set on choosing cosmetology and just being a hairdresser for the rest of my life. And as soon as I went through the shops, dental assisting came up. And although it was not on my radar in any means, I absolutely loved and fell right back into that passion of that field. And from there, it just took off. I ended up studying back teeth in my undergrad program, something that had never been researched before at Bridgewater State University. And then I actually traveled to Cambodia to continue research within studying water and how that can affect your body and your health, especially if it's dirty water compared to clean water, and how can we get clean water for villages in Cambodia. And then I graduated the night of Miss America with my degree in, thank you, my biology degree, and now applying to dental school. So it's all about just feel like going further in that field and asking questions that are unknown. Nobody from my technical program has studied back teeth or how water can affect oral health. So that's what I love most about the field of dentistry. And I feel like from a young age, not even knowing, that passion just grew and lit and got bigger. Now I'm applying to dental school, and I am so excited to be working for a dentist right now who is an amazing mentor, which goes all the way back to our first topic about mentorship. And I am loving what I'm doing, learning everything I can underneath her. So I am very excited to be sending in my application very soon.
Yay! Oh, I wish you all the best in that. I know you're going to be amazing. That's from Cambodia to your learning about dentistry since you were a little girl. This has been like a long time passion. I mean, that's wonderful. But, and you mentioned that you graduated the night of Miss America with your degree in biology?
Yes.
How did that work?
And walk was essentially the cold start of Miss America when they had
Oh.
So Bridgewater State University found that super funny. So the day I was supposed to graduate, I had to take my finals 3 weeks earlier to leave for Miss America. Talk about a heavy course load while you're Miss Mass, and then you take your finals 3 weeks early. Yikes. That was stressful. But we made it, and we're alive, and we graduated. And America, they mailed me my degree. So when I came home from Miss America, my degree was already sitting for me at my house, which was really awesome and unique. Typically, they don't do that. And then they invited me to speak at graduation, but due to the pandemic, I did not get that opportunity. So I got to deliver my speech to my technical high school that I graduated from. So it was
special.
Beautiful moment that, as it fell down and crumbled, it built back even more beautiful.
That is so special. I mean, the fact that you got invited to speak at your graduation, unfortunately it didn't pan out, but that's still really incredible. That's a really big honor, actually.
It was so fun to go back and visit. It's like going through your preschool and you're like, oh my gosh, everything's so small.
I know. And I mean, that's wonderful. You want to go to dentistry school. What areas are you looking at now? Like, where are you looking to apply?
So I'm applying to 22 schools that are within the region of, New England or neighboring states.
Mm-hmm.
Who are Boston University and Tufts University. So I'm going to stay in Massachusetts, but I know that my promise in my heart is always going to be in Taunton. So no matter what, I'll be practicing back at home. I'm
going to be writing a letter to the dean immediately of Tufts or Boston University. If you don't admit her, I'm going to throw hands. No, I won't do that. You're going to get in no matter what.
Tom Brady, what else can I take from you?
Oh my gosh. No, you know what I'll do? I'll go get Tom Brady to write you a letter of rec. I'm sure that'll happen easily. Amazing plan. We already have a plan.
Yes, I am in his hands.
He clearly is super not busy. I mean, maybe even Giselle will throw a few words in there. Who knows? I'm still not over the fact that they live in the same state as me, but moving on. So your talent is lyrical dance, which I didn't even touch on the fact that you also studied dance in college on top of all of that, which is amazing. But when and how did you get started dancing, and what piece did you choose to compete with at Miss America?
Oh my goodness, I could dance before I could walk. So
Oh.
loved dancing. My aunt grew up dancing. My mom grew up dancing. Like, it was just in my family. It's what you always tried to do, to get active or be active. Or as a kid, I feel like every, child tries dance at some point in their life.
Mhm.
And my mom has videos of me that when my aunt was in her dance class, I would stand in the doorway and I would, spank my sneakers on the ground and try and tap, try to dance with them. And the studio owner at the time was like, "You're too young, you're only one, we don't accept till 3. Just try at 2 years old. Can we just try it?" And the studio owner was like, "Yeah, sure," thinking that I would just be a rambunctious child at 2 years old. Little did she know that I was so eager and excited to be in that dance room. I paid so much attention to her, to the teachers, to the students, that they said that I could stay in the class and continue dancing. So I started dancing when I was a little bit of everywhere. So I danced around Taunton, I danced in our neighboring cities, Rainham, Boston. At one point, I was a semi-professional dancer with the Boston Dance Company, which understudies the Boston Ballet. And then I actually decided that I wanted to start teaching dance. So that's when I ended up at my studio where I'm at now, which is Erin Ray School of Dance. And I'm so happy there being a teacher. It's so much fun to share my passion and my love of dance with, aspiring dancers. They're so motivated, and it just makes my week every day. But it makes my day every week, pardon me. But my lyrical piece that I chose for Miss America, that was really decided upon what mood and what story I wanted to tell the audience. 5 times, I've already told the audience, they know who I am. They've seen me on stage before. So it was, for me, my mission was about, what story am I willing to share with the audience? What will make me human? And what's going to share that message that I am human? Because that was my goal. If I was ever Miss Taunton, I wanted to be the most, Miss Taunton that I could be. I wanted to really be relatable and part of the community, because I am. And I decided to choose to dance to Fight Song because I felt like 5 years competing for the title, I really had to fight for that win. It wasn't something that was handed to me. So I really felt like that song fit there. Competing for Miss Massachusetts, I competed with The Light That'll Never Fade. And that's a song all about completing the race that you're in. So I felt like, for me, that was my one opportunity to share with America that I am a ninja warrior. I am a competitive athlete. I am a dancer. I am in a hard academic program. My whole life is a race, and I am willing to put in the work and the effort to get to that finish line, no matter what is passed my way. So that was the story that I chose to share with the Miss America audience and the Miss Massachusetts audience. So that is exactly why I chose my talent piece. It was all about, what was I willing to share, and how vulnerable was I willing to be on that stage.
I'm so empowered now. I'm like, yes, Lindsay Littlefield, you go, ninja warrior, princess, dentist, dancer. That's a lot of titles, and they're all very impressive. But I love that. I love Fight Song. What an empowering choice. All about resiliency. You fought to get Miss Massachusetts. You earned it. I think that whole journey sounds amazing, and it's so nice to hear that you're now, also teaching dance as well. You're a mentor to other girls who share the same passion as you. So the very thing that you echoed in your first answer, now you're giving that back.
Yes. You want to come back and say hello? I know, we're about talent. Love dancing, huh?
Oh my gosh.
Ken.
Oh my gosh. He is truly gorgeous.
Thank you. He loves to be on appearances. So now whenever I get booked, it's like, "Oh, can we book Miss Massachusetts and Swiper?" Like, he's now included on the bookings casually. So
is he actually?
Yes. Oh, the kids, here, I'll see if I can move my camera so that way you guys can see him a little better. The kids love him. He comes visits. Are you trying to sit down? Yeah, there you go. He loves to visit all the schools. He absolutely loves the attention on Zoom. He just loves it. He can't stay away.
Shout out to my mother who watches all of these. We have a dog that comes with me everywhere. His name is Patrick. His Instagram is @GrumpyPat. The fact that there's a state title holder out there that brings her pet to her on appearances will make my mom's world explode, because she will be like, "We're doing that with Patrick."
Yeah, he only does the virtual ones. Although he likes car rides. We just discovered that. but he's domestic, so we keep him at home.
Just such an iconic duo. I'm still awaiting the Halloween costume anxiously. You know I'll be commenting. Like,
yes, I'll send you pictures.
Absolutely. So now I have my favorite question. How did you feel when you were crowned Miss Massachusetts? What was that moment like? I mean, tell me as much as you remember of it, because some girls are like, I don't remember anything, and some girls are like, I remember everything. So as much as you can tell me.
Yeah, well, the whole week was crazy. He's like, the week? You talking to me?
He was part of it, obviously.
So we did stay in a hotel for the competition, and we got to the hotel on Wednesday. And I know you're like, this has nothing to do with crowning moment. It builds up, I promise.
Oh, no.
So got to the hotel on Wednesday, and then we broke up into interview groups and things like that, and prelims and whatnot. And I remember my interview was on Thursday. And Thursday, we get ready, we go to the rehearsals, you get ready at the Hanover Theater, you have like the cool mirrors with all the lights on, you feel super fancy. And there are these huge sandbags filled with sand that are attached to like some curtains, and some of them are not. So one of the candidates picked up the sandbag and was like, oh my gosh, Lindsay, you could work out with this. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I picked it up and like went to clean it to see how heavy it was to work out with. Note to self and everybody out there, when you are competing at any stage, just don't touch the equipment. Just don't touch it. It's not meant to be workout equipment, because I picked up that sandbag and knocked my front tooth right in half.
The dentist knocked her own tooth out. That's so ironic.
So I literally remember like holding the sandbag, half the tooth is in my mouth. I just like dropped the sandbag and like spit out my tooth and was like, oh my God, it's broken. Oh my gosh, what do I do? And we're like running opening number. This is happening like before I'm supposed to introduce myself on stage for our opening number rehearsal. So I ran off the stage to our director who was sitting at the front, and I like had the tooth in my hand, and I was like, what do I do? Like just total panic mode. And she was like, I don't know, what happened? What do we do? So we looked like cartoons going back and forth for like, I think a good 3 minutes before we both could finally catch our breath and like be like, okay, this is what happened. How do we handle this? Because Lindsay has to compete in interview in 45 minutes.
Oh, girl.
I went out to my dressing room, and I remember I told myself, I was like, you're not going to cry. You are not going to lose it. You are not going to call your mom, because that's, anybody knows Mama Michelle, she would be so mad.
Wait, which tooth was it? Just so
this one.
Oh, I thought that's what you said, but I was like, there's no way. She lost like, her whole front tooth. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I'll send you a picture. You can like put it up if you want to.
Okay, actually, I'm going to. There's no way.
Or like, everybody's seen my teeth now. So I went up to the dressing room, and a couple of candidates were up there also getting ready. And I, as a dental assistant, knew what not to do. And that was to not use super glue, to not try and glue the tooth back in your mouth, to not file the tooth down. Like, all those things are not good. What did I do? Everything I knew I wasn't supposed to do to try and get this piece of the tooth to say, because it was such a large chip in my brain that I felt like I looked like a hillbilly. I was like, how am I supposed to compete in a beauty competition that is about grace and elegance when I'm over here like lifting sandbags and breaking my front tooth?
Oh my God.
So long story short, I could not get the tooth to stay together. They gave me two options at that point. I could either go to a dentist and not compete in an interview, and they wouldn't tell anybody. It would be very down low. I just would have a 0 for that score. And I could compete for the rest of the evening, and we could pretend like I had an interview score, and then I obviously wouldn't make the top 10 because I didn't have a score. Nobody would know. Or I could compete. So I said, I'd like to continue competing. I said, I've worked 5 years to be my hometown title. Like, this is resilience. This is a test of God knows what, but a test. So I walked in the interview room, and I will never forget this, because I literally feel like there was a spirit in the room, like, helping me at that time, because my first question was, what is one important characteristic for you as Miss Massachusetts? And I was like, resilience. absolutely resilient. So then the competition continues. I still have no front tooth.
Oh my
And
gosh.
we have prelims. And right before prelims, we run the whole show in costume just to get used to everything. And my business manager, who is Molly Whalen, who was a dental hygienist, I called her and was like, Molly, you need to grab etch, I need solo, and I need an A1 composite. You're gonna fix this tooth. And she was like, yep, got it. So she came in, and if anybody who's a dental assistant or in the field out there knows that fixing a tooth completely like is crazy backstage. So I'm laying in my opening number dress, like on the couch, mouth open, and Molly Newman is over me trying to fix this tooth just to make it look whole. And at this point, the chip was like such a thick piece of composite in my mouth. Like I felt like I was talking funny. So I really had to smooth on the inside of my tongue. And so I went through prelims, and I feel like because I was really thrown off my game because there was something weird in my mouth, I really actually wasn't nervous. I was very relaxed. I felt like all my nerves were kind of out. I had something else to kind of be nervous about, and that was my tooth hopefully not falling off again. So I was very relaxed. And then prelims and finals night began. And as we're competing for finals night, I made it to top 10, and I was very excited. But again, I wasn't nervous because I felt like I had so much going on throughout that week that I didn't have a moment for my nerves to really build up. Then it came down to top 5, and they handed out all the awards, interview talent and whatnot. And by who knows what means, they announced me as the the interview award winner. So I always tell people, the crowning moment for me wasn't getting the crown. That was amazing and exciting, and I'll always remember that moment. But for me, winning an interview award that I have never won before with a half smile, I feel like says a lot about what content you delivered, because it wasn't off my looks. I did not have the looks in that situation.
Well, I'm sure people tell you're gorgeous, but missing your front tooth, yes, does look a little hillbilly. I can't lie. I mean, I can't imagine that right now. I would literally be freaking out. I mean, that story is the craziest pageant story I've ever heard. You could write a book. That's crazy. That's crazy.
And what was really special about crowning moments, I know that was the intention of your question, I got to be crowned holding my best friend's hand as my first runner-up. So that was super special. I'll never forget that moment. I honestly thought that she was winning. So it was just crazy because they announced my name and I literally was like, what? And she had to tell me that. She was like, it's you, Lindsay, it's you. And it took a good 30 seconds for me to finally process that it wasn't her and it was me. But love you, Molly, if you're watching.
But what a perfect person to have that problem. I mean, seriously, like how fortunate you were able to call Molly Whalen and be like, girl, get this and this and this. Like, you need to fix my tooth right now. Had you not had your knowledge, like me, I'd be like, does anyone like have like a fake tooth on deck? Like, can we go to a Halloween costume shop and just get a fake tooth? Like, I wouldn't know what to do. Like,
it was a crazy. Oh my gosh. And never mind that, like calling my mom afterwards. If you ever have to, like, it's like that phone call where like you're in trouble and you're about to get in super big trouble and you're like, hey mom.
Did I tell you how beautiful you look on Wednesdays? Like, no.
Yeah!
My mom would be like, okay, I'm getting my pitchfork out. Where are you? I'm going to find you. No, my mom would be scary. Love you, Mom. I love you very much.
Oh, yeah, we love Mom. Massachusetts is great, but Massachusetts
Massachusetts.
And what? And I was like, my interview was great. I was so awesome. We talked about this. I never heard my tooth. And I was trying to like wiggle it in there and not really give it much attention.
Oh,
Mom, like, you did who? What happened?
Massachusetts. Well, that is an amazing story, and thank God that you lost that tooth, because I'm sure that the judges saw this girl's determined. She doesn't back down in the face of adversity or of a problem. I mean, I think that's such a huge life skill, is being able to take a problem, like a big problem, and be like, okay, what can I do next? What's my next step? What's my next solution? I can't dwell on this. Because clearly you didn't dwell on it. You didn't cry. You didn't freak out. Because you had an interview really shortly thereafter. I know me.
Superhuman here. I really was holding back tears. Like, we are all human, my friend. But
no,
it was
of course.
Where I had to be resilient. And for me, that was a really big test, and I feel like I passed in a sense.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I thought it was a great setup for the year. I mean, you're a local title holder in the middle of a pandemic. You know how hard it is to be a title holder between school, between dance, between whatever your activities may be, sports, and then be in a pandemic during. This is all resilience. So I felt like if there was any year for me to be Miss Massachusetts, that was the test, and the universe was like, "Yep, you can handle it. Here you go."
Absolutely. I mean, I do have a question I forgot. Oh, yes. Did they tell the judges beforehand, the next contestant, she lost her tooth? She doesn't look like this normally, or did you just have to go in there with without that knowledge?
So they offered to, and Buffy, who is our director, Dolores Rebuffo, she said, "Why don't you wait and see what happens in your interview? And if it doesn't come up and you want me to tell them afterwards, I will." And after my first question, she walked me out of the room and she was like, "I think you don't really need to tell them." And I was like, "No, we're good. I think they kind of noticed that my tooth was broken."
I think they noticed that I am indeed missing my front tooth, but
So the judge was not forewarned. They found out literally the first question of the interview when they asked, and I'm sure they asked every candidate, what is one quality that makes, that you think a Miss Massachusetts should have or be? And I call that my broken tooth resilience story.
That is the coolest story I've ever heard. I mean, my mind is blown. What a well-deserved win. And now my next question is about your Miss America experience. I just want to ask, as a president, you didn't break any teeth this time, right? Like this was.
Oh my God.
Okay. All right. So now we can move on. What was Miss America like?
Less traumatizing than that.
No sandbags at all. No stage props being touched.
I didn't touch anything from the equipment. Oh my gosh. No, Miss America was surreal. I just absolutely loved getting to know everyone. And it's so difficult, I feel like, as an adult in the program, once you start getting out in the adult world and you start, making college friends and things like that, it's really difficult to find somebody who really has those same passions and understands what you're going through. So for me, I got this whole group of friends that really understood, this is a job. It's not just you get to wear a crown, be pretty. Like, this is a job, and what it consisted of. And I felt like for me to have that groundwork and that friendship and that bond, that really what made the experience for me. I'll literally forever treasure my friends, but I'll never forget sitting in the dressing room next to Miss North Dakota, and I literally was like, the week is over and I already have 4 appearances for tomorrow and I'm not ready to go back to Massachusetts. She was like, "Girl, I got 6." And I was like, "Oh, bless for understanding."
Wait, 4 appearances when you got back from Miss America? Oh my goodness. I was thinking you time to decompress.
We don't decompress here. You just keep going.
Yeah, that's true. Keep hustling.
I had a couple appearances, but my favorite was going on the fire truck in Taunton. They had me go around the fire truck and wave to everybody with Santa because it was right around Christmas time. And that was the last event that I had for at least 3 days. And so I remember getting off the fire truck and just completely falling asleep in the car. I think I slept for almost a whole day after that. So there is decompressing, but you gotta get through it. You gotta get through.
Exactly. But you girls work hard, and that was a very unique Miss America experience. I've heard, the pageant was going through a lot of changes, differing opinions, whether better or for worse, although I always love the organization and I rarely have anything bad to say about it. But what was that like, going through a different experience, learning new things as you went along? Because some girls, and not in a negative way, said when we got there, we found out that there was this phase of the competition and that they were doing this way, because there was a really interesting way that they did it where they had top 15 and then top 7 or something weird like that, and it was just a bunch of differences. So what was it like handling that part of it?
Yeah, so I've had the opportunity to work with NBC before on American Ninja Warrior, and I really got to see the inside scoop of how TV production is done through that. And I think having that background, I really went in knowing that things are going to change. We're not going to know the information, and that's not Miss America. That's NBC.
Yeah.
So it wasn't about that experience in the fact that things are changing. I really didn't know what was going on, because that's showbiz, baby. Things change constantly. So for me, wanted to go and live in the moment, and whatever information was given to me, I took it with a grain of salt and I continued throughout my day. So, and I think that that was the best way that you could handle Miss America. Nobody could really give you advice from the previous year to help you navigate through this because it was completely different. I remember Gabby, Miss Massachusetts, before me, and Jillian before her, giving me advice, and then getting there and being like, this advice has nothing to do with anything. You know, and some things were super helpful, but like some things I was like, this didn't happen. We didn't go to this, or we didn't go to the carnival, or we didn't do this, because our year was totally different. We weren't on the boardwalk. We didn't do the Show Your Shoes parade. We didn't go to the carnival. We didn't go to the Hard Rock Cafe. We had different things and different events. So for me, it was all about just laying the groundwork and experiencing it. This was totally 100% fair game. No state had any chance over another. No state had more experience than the other. It was completely new territory for everyone. And I think for me, I liked that.
Yeah, I want to say, first of all, I appreciate you saying it's not really Miss America. It was NBC that was sort of changing things, new network, because I think Miss America at some point was with TLC and then ABC for a really long time, and now NBC. So I do appreciate that, because I think a lot of people were unnecessarily hard on the organization, but, you know, they're, you know, under the law of the TV station, what they say goes.
Right. It's their name on it, so I understand why those people thought that. But I think it's important to clarify that, you know, once you're in a network, I mean, for example, the Thanksgiving parade. Has anybody seen how that's filmed? Because it's totally wild.
Really?
Shots that they show during when floats are going by, those are recorded at like 5 a.m. in the morning. Those are not live. Like, that's showbiz.
Lindsay Littlefield is exposing the Thanksgiving Day parade. You heard it here first. She is exposing lots of things. No, but I do appreciate that, number one. And number two, like you said, yeah, you guys are in Connecticut this year at the Mohegan Sun. Normally it was Planet Hollywood in Vegas, or, you know, the Boardwalk in Atlantic City. So it was completely different. You guys were doing it in Connecticut, which I was like, that's random, you know, a completely different choice. But it must have been really exciting to experience all these unknowns for the first time. I mean, as someone who loves Miss America like me, you know, I always dreamed, oh, what will the Show Me Your Shoes parade be like? Or what will being on the boardwalk be like? Or taking pictures in New Jersey. You guys didn't have that, you know, so, but it must have been really cool, like going into the unknown, not having any expectations.
Yeah, and I remember saying that to one of the girls who was also competing in my class, that we, you know, the class of Miss Massachusetts 2019, I was like, that is your strongest group of title holders, I think, because we are willingly going into this competition, competing like this, ready to literally go into the unknown and compete totally different on a national level, which is scary. So for me, I really just was like, this is the strongest class that you're going to get in every state. And as you can see, they are the strongest group of girls. I love my class now. I love the 2019 class. There is not going to be a stronger group of title holders than these two classes, including yourself.
I completely agree. Honestly, I feel very fortunate because this idea with this web show stemmed out of being in quarantine. Like, what can I do? How can I be super active, especially in South Florida, where we're still pretty much in phase 1, just now entering phase 2, where we're unable to go out. What can I do during this time since March? So 6 months. And I've been able to connect with your class, which is a very unique class of girls. And being able to interview states for me is already a dream come true. Like when you responded, or when Miss Hawaii responded, or Miss New York, I was like freaking out. I was like, this is so cool, you know? But, you know, you girls are so unique because you're serving 2 years. And I'm serving 2 years as a local title holder, which is really great because I love the South Florida Fair. That's really fun. And that's already hard enough in itself, accepting 2 years of responsibility. But on top of a state where you're representing your state, that's a whole different ballgame. You're dealing with going to dental school, huge responsibility. You're a dance teacher. You have a lot of things on your plate, and you're willingly accepting a second year. That's really tough. I feel like people might overlook. It's a fun job. It's a really cool job. It's the best job in the world. But that doesn't change the fact that it's a huge commitment. And all of you girls are extremely strong. Not only did you have this completely new Miss America experience, but then dealing with a worldwide pandemic. You know, it's crazy. You guys have had a lot of adversity during this year, but you've been very resilient through it all. So it's honestly really cool to interview you all. It's a perspective unlike any other state title holder from any other year, I think.
Thank you. And that's what I think is so special about the organization right now. Every girl is going to have a different story. I mean, on a local level, national level, or state level. it's going to be a completely different story for every girl. And every girl is going to be so unique because they are going through this once in a lifetime opportunity where you get to be a state title holder or a local title holder again. And what are you doing? Pandemic. Like, it's crazy. So I appreciate what you're doing. As I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, I just think it's awesome that you are taking the initiative and you are creating an opportunity for yourself.
Thank you so much. It's really been a lot of fun. You girls are, it's just a testament to what kind of girls are involved in the MAO. It's my dream to be a state title holder. It's my dream to be like you guys. You and I are not far apart in age, but I look up to you all so much, and it's really just so cool for me to be able to hear, you know, up close and personal what your story is like. Like, I would have never known that you had lost your front tooth in the middle of competing. How cool is that, though, that I get to learn that about you and all the other girls' stories? And, you know,
I've gotten to learn you as well through your episodes, so please don't sell yourself short. I mean, I love the little stories you share in my sister's episodes, so I've been watching them, and it's so you and how you're sharing yourself throughout these interviews too.
I appreciate that so much. And, you know, it just shows you all are so kind. I mean, I have yet to encounter a girl that's like, oh, I don't have time for this. Or, you know, you all are like, yes, how can I help? Like, what can I do to promote it? And that's just, everyone is a class act. You're so sweet and such a class act. So it just shows how above and beyond the Miss America girls are. It's a great system to be a part of. And that's really, I think that's the most important takeaway, is that you all are just so kind and willing to do something for someone like me. So, I mean, I really am thankful.
And we are so thankful for you for doing it too. So please don't sell yourself short. We are so thankful that you are creating this opportunity because it's something that we can share and share our stories and share our messages on. So thank you.
And anyone that watches this will be like, okay, Miss Massachusetts has a really crazy past little stories. This is actually one of my favorite episodes. Because I've been so shocked half the time. I've been like, wait, Lindsay, backtrack right now. She's been throwing me for a loop. And there was an animal involved. It's crazy. Okay.
We love it. It's like an adventure. Who needs to go on vacation?
Zoomcation. Okay. So now I want to know about your social impact initiative called Girls Incorporated, Be Strong, Be Smart, and Be Bold. I love that title. So tell me all about that.
So Girls Inc. is a nonprofit that actually I learned about here in Taunton. So we have a hometown chapter. There are currently 4 in the state. And it's a national program. You've probably seen them on TV. They have now on NBC, which is very exciting. But we're a program all about female empowerment and creating opportunities. And its mission really aligns with the Miss America program about having the opportunity to try something new, meet someone new, and be comfortable doing that. And although we don't put that on stage, we do it privately in our chapters. And through that, we have volunteers come in, we do homework help, anything from cooking to dance to basketball. We try to really create as many activities and cultural enrichment as we can for as many girls as we can. Right now, our hometown chapter has 120 members, which is absolutely incredible that we reach that many girls in Taunton. And we have 16 activities for the girls to try, and if they like it, they continue doing it throughout that semester. So it's a program all about developing who you are, what you like, and what you don't.
And what a perfect ambassador for that program than a Miss America title holder, you know, like what a better representative. That's so awesome. That's so cool. And also you make Taunton sound like the coolest place on earth. Like, I just want to visit there right now.
We are. I'm going to advocate for it. We are the coolest place in Massachusetts. We have
Tauntonians unite.
The best coffees, and we have a Girls Inc. chapter. So I'm just saying, and we have our own airport. Fun fact. Just saying.
If that's not the biggest flex that you've heard during this entire Zoom call, then where have you been? If you're not from Taunton, where are you from?
Where are you from? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Hashtag irrelevant. I love it. I love the hometown pride. But that is so awesome. I mean, you are just such a figure of female empowerment, really encouraging girls to be their best selves, their boldest selves, following their dreams, you know, pursuing whatever they want. It's truly awesome and really coincides with the Miss America organization so appropriately.
Thank you. My mission there, I really, as being an ambassador and a member and, you know, being a mentor, my mission is really to be transparent with everything that goes on, because I feel like with the Miss America organization, you see beautiful girls on stage, and that's really all you've seen about them until this year. And so for the past 5 years, I've really shown Girls Inc. No, you don't win every pageant. You don't all the time. What I did learn was this, and this is when I'll be competing next, because it's all about committing to yourself and really trying to do what makes you happy. And so see the girls watch me, and I don't want to be negative, but to see the girls watch me fail for 4 years is really remarkable for them, because they can see what it's like to have a determined quality in yourself. And I've seen that, and that was my social impact pitch. That's what it was all about, is about having that determination that you fall 6 times, you get up on 7.
Absolutely. I truly think that is the most important thing. I mean, you're smart, you're talented, you're kind, you're beautiful, you have all these things, but I think above all, resiliency can get anyone anywhere. I truly believe that. You know, being kicked in the teeth, well, you literally having your tooth fall out, and then sorry, I had to go for it. You know, sorry, pun definitely intended. Little shade thrown. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, I mean, getting back up and being like, you know, hey, here I am. Here's what I've learned. Here's what I'm going to do next. And then you won. So it was worth it. The resilience, persistence can get you anywhere. And you're a testament to that. So how awesome is that?
Thank you. And I honestly, every Miss America title holder, I mean, Camille's amazing. And that's Camille. She's just a wonderful human and won her state title in her first try. But typically, I feel like you go through a couple competitions, or you have a couple experiences within the organization, or for example, a test, you don't always pass it. Maybe you didn't do as well in this one. Everybody has a familiar story to that mentality and that, you know, relationship of maybe you didn't get it, but what did you learn and how can you get it? And I think the Miss America organization is a perfect testament to that, as we talked about before, because 5 random people who you've never met don't determine your fate.
You heard it here first. And truly, I think you can give an expert, you know, testimony to that. So I think that's really, really great advice. And, you know, without hearing your story, I would never guess, you know, Lindsay Littlefield had to try 5 times. You know, because to me, like to all the girls, like seemed like the perfect title holder, you might not guess that it wasn't always so easy. So it's inspiring to hear a success story, but I wasn't always so successful. It wasn't like one day I woke up and I was Miss Massachusetts. Absolutely not. You know, I wish it was that easy, but unfortunately that's not the case. What if I woke up like this? Sometimes I imagine when I'm doing this is so random, but sometimes I imagine the morning when I'm so tired and going to an appearance, I wish I could just wake up with the makeup already. I don't know. Just a random.
So there have definitely been times where this is not healthy. There's I'm sure you have too, that you have slept with your makeup on and you were like, if I put my pillows right next to my face, I won't move the whole night. And then it works. Like, there is a method to the madness. You just have to like touch up like a little bit of makeup, but not much. And it saves a lot of time. Totally not healthy. My poor skin sponsor is like, what are you telling your audience? I'm sorry, Kayla, but.
So you've exposed Tom Brady and the Thanksgiving Day parade, but you're not allowed to expose me. No, I'm just kidding. I do that though. I'm a big on eyeliner, and sometimes it really stays well, and I'm like, I could get away with those. And I do often. Both. Today I didn't though. This is all new. They're never going to believe me.
Fake lashes?
Oh, fake lashes? Are these fake lashes?
Have you ever slept in fake lashes? Like,
oh yeah. Oh girl.
Like, girl, that was my whole Miss America experience. I never took them off.
No, like sometimes you just have to touch up a little corner here, a little corner there, and it's perfect.
This stays forever.
They're like disgusting. Deleting my subscription to Juliet's YouTube channel. No, you all should be happy that someone as gorgeous in Miss Massachusetts is saying, I sleep with false eyelashes on too. Okay, you should be relieved, because I know everyone has done something like that. Don't even try to come for Lindsay's.
Like, don't even try to lie if you're watching and you're like, I don't do this. Like the night you won a local, you're trying to tell me you did not sleep in your hair and makeup, because we all did.
Oh, we all did. So we could preserve that next day appearance glow.
Yes, and like you were taking headshots the next day, so why bother washing it off? You guys.
Oh, headshot makeup, that's a 4-day. That's a 4-day deal right there. Like, you leave that on forever. You milk that until the very last drop.
I remember in high school, like I used to come in like on a Monday, and our pageants were always like Sundays afternoons. They were like our football Sundays. And I would come in on a Monday, and my English teacher would be like, oh, you competed this weekend? Because I still was like slashes in high school, like red lips probably still on. My hair was like curled and like teased to Jesus, like
Spray tan. Oh my gosh. I love the realness. This is like, I'm actually living for this. And I'm so sad because now we have our last question. This has been so fun. But let me just say, this is so perfect for you because you are overwhelmingly positive, and that's what my show's title is based on, is positivity. I mean, really, you've been positive throughout this whole interview about your Miss America experience, albeit conventional. You liked that it was, unknown. You liked, being excited about the new thing. Your Miss Massachusetts win, you went through really shocking things there, but you say, I'm so happy for that experience because it worked out in my favor. And everything about your journey has been so positive. So now I love to ask you this question. My show's title is The Silver Lining, which is about finding the good in every situation. And I'm wondering, what was the silver lining of your participation in the MAO? What was the best part of it all to you?
Oh, so many. I was talking to Mom about this in the car today. I was like, can you think of one thing for silver? Like, can you think of just one? And I was like, no, and there's so many. And my mom said the same thing. She was like, we've gotten so much out of this organization. But I think the biggest for me is that it really taught me to focus on what was in front of me. And I feel like that is so important right now because there's so much negativity. There's a pandemic going on. There's a lot of negativity in the news. There's a lot of things that are happening. And to be able to focus on what's in front of you and focus on the positive is very difficult. So I felt like throughout my experiences in the Miss America organization, I learned to have this really good focus on staying positive, focusing on completing a task, staying balanced. And those things don't happen without focus. And in an equation, you need to have those things to have a healthy lifestyle. And without focus, you can't have balance. You can't have positivity. You can't have happiness. You have to be able to focus on yourself, the people around you who you love, and how are you doing? And so for me, the Miss America organization taught me, when your tooth is broken, how to focus on competing in general or talking. When you wanted to become a dentist and I was studying bats till 10 o'clock at night, capturing bats and releasing them, to focus and have the eyesight to see them, to be relaxed and quiet enough to see them, to have the focus to apply to dental school, which is a strenuous activity, but more importantly, to focus on the balance of my lifestyle. Am I taking care of myself while going through all these things? Because yes, it's a busy plate, but your plate can be as full as you want on Thanksgiving. And I fully believe that philosophy can apply to your everyday. It doesn't just need to be on Thanksgiving.
And now we're entering the season of fall, so that's very poignant. And you've just made me very excited for Thanksgiving. But in all seriousness, I love that answer. I think that's the first time I've received an answer of that nature. But you've mentioned resiliency. Now you mentioned focus. I think they go hand in hand. In order to keep going and to get back up and say, what can I do next? You have to focus. How did I do? I did great. You have to reward yourself. But what could I do better? And focusing on getting to that goal. And you have so many different areas in your life. You're very versatile. And you cited different examples of how you had to focus. But that determination, that organization, that drive, and that focus led you to where you are now. So I think that's wonderful advice. Again, I think you are such an excellent title holder. I look up to you so much. I'm really honored to get the chance to talk to you because as accomplished as you are, and as celebrity status as you are, and as close to Tom Brady as you are, or were, because
it's my turn to tables because you have Tom Brady, so I get to ask you a question. That's my ruling. What is your silver lining for this week?
Oh my gosh, I've never had someone ask me a question.
Brady never moved to another state, so we're experiencing a lot of new things to this episode.
My silver lining is not only that I'm going to go up to Tampa and stalk Tom Brady immediately. No, but my silver lining is truly I am in the middle of my first semester of my sophomore year in college, but I am thriving academically. I'm really doing great with my web show. I'm preparing for Miss Florida, and I realized this week in talking to my mother as well, because she's Massachusetts, but Florida Ma, whatever pun we can make through that. We have to work
Mama,
on that.
Florida. I'll come up with a name. I'll text you.
Miami Mama, we're struggling. But I was talking to her, and I just said, how did I compete for Miss Florida in June of 2020? do you think I would have been ready? And she said, although I thought you were great back then, I see how you've matured now. I see how this pandemic has made you grow up, because it truly has. You're taking on responsibility in a different way. I'm doing virtual school. It's just a completely different level of focus, and I find I do better kind of on my own, because I do get distracted. As you can tell, I like to talk. And I'm completely focused on my brand. I'm learning life lessons from girls like you, and it makes me excited that in 7 months I will be competing for Miss Florida, and I will have a chance to reinvent myself on that stage. So that is my silver lining, that God, threw us a loop, and we didn't get to have this year as planned, but I think I grew from it, and I'll come out a stronger candidate and a better representative at Miss Florida. So that's my silver lining, and I really appreciate you asking me a question, because no one does that.
On it, Miss Florida. I'm so excited.
Oh, you better be watching. If you can't be there, you have to be live streaming it.
Oh, you know it, girl, because I think Florida is actually the same week as Massachusetts, so I'll be live streaming backstage. Don't you worry. I love Miss Florida. Michaela's great, but I am wishing you the
Yes, and you and Swiper better be watching together, because I just need his magic.
Absolutely.
But Lindsay, you are wonderful. Thank you so much. I will be reaching out to you for much needed sisterly pageant advice, but you are absolutely awesome. I can't wait for the world to meet you, or not world, but my followers, which will soon be world domination. And I think you're absolutely wonderful, and I will say hi to Tom for you. We'll meet together somehow.
Go for a letter of recommendation too.
I will work on it. I know he'll say yes, so I'm not even worried about it. But if you guys aren't following Lindsay, well, I'm confused, because you need to be. Not only does she post about her second year and her amazingness, but Swiper, duh.
He loves the following.
Follow for Swiper, if for nothing else. No, but seriously, follow her. Shameless plug, follow me. And Lindsay, again, I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's so fun to get to finally meet you and talk to you almost in person. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was so good to meet you. Please stay in touch.
Of course. Bye.
Bye.